Are you shocked that Shreyas Iyer is not part of the Indian side? Which team are you backing? Is it Shreyas Iyer's team D or is it Mayank Agarwal's team A?
So guys like Rutu, Ishwaran, and Priyank Panchal, they'll have to really struggle for their places. Even though to be there, I'll rather try and put Abhishek in the
Okay.
opening spot. To be
Team
honest,
B versus Team C. Both the teams got 6 points, Deepu. Which team do you think has the advantage to get the 6 points again? Round 1 is done of the Duleep Trophy 2024. We shift to round 2 now, as well as no more Chinnaswamy anymore, ladies and gentlemen. We are now permanently at the Anandpur. In between, we had a few selections of the Indian first test, the game against Bangladesh at Chennai. The squad selection has been done. We'll roughly go towards there because of few of the players that have been missing. But our focus stays back on the Duleep Trophy. I have Rohan with me. Rohan, welcome to the show. India A versus India D is the game we are focusing at the moment between the two of us. And these two teams haven't opened their account. Not even a first innings lead. That's not good news, but on paper, they look good. We'll start with India A first. And if you look into the side, now the leadership has changed. What's your take on that?
It's funny now, Pritham, because when you see the overall experience during that first game, and the Ace team had the higher number of international caps. Same with the D, both were strong favorites against
Correct.
the respective opponents. But that's the game of cricket, right? The beauty is on your day, if you click together, I think both India B and C, led by Ishwaran and Gaikwad, I think strategized well, and even the players stepped up pretty well. At crunch moments, I felt so. I think that shows on paper what happens. It's all in the mind as not just on the field. So I think credit to those two teams, but these two teams, I think one they're looking for wins now, because there's pretty strong team on paper and lots of favorites also. And yes, few of them, as you said, have moved on to a test squad, but both teams on paper look equally poised and strong. So I think it's still the audition is going on, I feel, because as I said, just not just the home stretch of 5 test matches, but the Australian tour, and lots of people look to impress
Absolutely.
the selectors and the fans, so that they can make a case for themselves, if not for the India main senior squad, but the shadow tour that may be there. So just be ready in case of any issues. I think all these guys will be trying to put their names up for selections here.
Absolutely. That is without a doubt, I must tell you. And that's the reason why we will come and discuss a lot of things about Yasdal, one of the players that proved in round 1 and got selected for the Indian team as well. But as we said, Mayank Agarwal is now the captain. People wondering if KL Rahul is there, why are you giving the leadership to Mayank Agarwal? Brothers and sisters, KL Rahul is also part of the Indian squad, I must tell you. So, yes, that's true. But let's go reflect back to the some of the positives and the negatives of Team India A, what they have done in the first round. One of the negatives which I closely watched, Rohan, was the leadership skills of Shubman Gill in a red ball format. At one stage, they were 94 for 7 early in the morning, Team India B, led by Abhimanyu Ishwaran. And from there, kudos to no doubt some sensational batting from Mushir Khan, and on the other end, accompanied well by Navdeep Saini. But 205-run partnership for the 8 wickets. That's not acceptable, I must tell you, with a good bowling lineup.
Shubman Gill, I think there was a lot to be desired. He let the game slip away, I felt, tactically as well. But great to young Mushir. Yeah, he maneuvered the strike well, gave someone like Navdeep Saini good confidence to take the partnership forward. But great to them to understand the conditions. There was some moisture early in the first session. They lost
Yeah,
wickets. The sun baked down pretty well, and batting got a bit easy. Not to mention the ball also got a bit softer. I think
plus a green top surface.
yeah, so I think that got easier to bat, and Mushir was pretty smart. I felt. I think playing in tough conditions, like we saw him get 100, and in the quarters and the finals of the Ranji Trophy. So I think to come up on a debut in a Duleep Trophy and score 100 again, I think that shows the young man has matured a lot. And I think one of the contenders for the number 3 positions maybe in the coming years. Still quite young, but let's not
Yeah,
jump the gun. But the talent definitely is there in that young man. But coming to Gill, I think yeah, touted as the next big thing, but I think he needs to learn a lot from these mistakes, because this is, as I think we had spoken earlier, this is the platform where he has to make mistakes in
correct.
domestic, because it may not be on the spotlight so much, because if the same errors happen in international game, it'll be blown
Absolutely.
apart, and the experts and the fans and the trolls definitely will be on your backside. So I think credit to him. I think he tried his best, but maybe just not good enough. Something to learn upon and get better in the coming time. Maybe whenever he gets an opportunity, definitely I feel. But he's a class batsman. I think he was doing well, but couple of errors in judgment, I can say.
Correct.
But I think, as you said, now it's on to someone like Mayank, much more experienced player as a skipper for Karnataka as well. I think it will be a different kettle of fish for this Indian A team now.
Absolutely. Said about Shuman Gill. Now he's part of the Indian side, but still, as I said before, he's still short of runs, the confidence as well. But the delivery from Navdeep Saini sent us all back to Kennington Oval for sure. The delivery from Scott Boland as well.
Yeah.
But we give credit where it's due from Mushir Khan and then Navdeep Saini. But I want to ask you a little bit, Ruhan. Mushir's performance, has that given a little bit of competition between the Khan brothers? Because now, where do you think where the father will go? Whom will he back more? Is it the younger son or is it the elder son?
You know what? This reminds me of the Watt twins. Also had a similar thing.
Exactly.
If you go back in time, Steve made his debut first and was part of the Australian setup for 3-4 years. And suddenly Mark came in, and whom did he replace? Steve. So it took a couple of years for both the Watt twins to play together. I think if you're in the Khan household, you wouldn't mind who is playing. If both play together, it'll be icing on the cake. But currently, I think both are good men. Sarfaraz has uh, worked his backside off in domestic cricket to get the chance. I think all of us were calling for his selection a year ago, and finally he did well against England. Those three test matches, I think
Yep.
the kind of impact he had, as I said, playing those unorthodox shots and that positive intent, I think that brought a bit of fresh energy into the team because that time the series was evenly balanced. I think his kind
Exactly.
of cameos, and not to mention the banter around the field in the short leg, along with Jurel and company there, what was it, Garden Wale, I think, which Rohit referred to. So I think that gave a different energy. But Mushir has but more good temperament, and not to forget, he bowls a little bit of left arm spin as well.
Exactly.
So I think that gives him a slight edge over Sarfraz because he's mainly a number three batter and Sarfraz is more number five or six. So depending on the conditions and requirement, I think both can look at the selection definitely at home, but going forward, little more step in terms of the
Yep.
eight overs, maybe exposure to the Sena countries perhaps, and I think they can stake the claim for the middle order but more frequently.
Absolutely.
The chances there, but also have to hope the people who are in that squad now have to also have a bad time as well, or maybe injuries, anything, because these
True
guys are
that.
experienced players. They need to look up to,
Very.
like previously we had a Pujara, Rahane, now there's KL, their Shreyas also in the fray at times. So all these guys are a notch slightly ahead of these guys in the pecking order. So all these people have to maybe have a bad time or maybe injury or rest or niggle at times, as we like to call it. These guys can get a break in there, but I'm pretty sure given an opportunity, these guys will make it count for sure.
True that, but we'll talk about one of the all-rounders from this team as well. There's Shivam Dube. We said before as well, a little bit of feet movement is not there at all. He will struggle against red ball cricket. He completely got exposed. Did not bowl much. Bowled 12 overs in the first innings. Did not get a ball in the second innings. Is he really a red ball player?
Indian conditions, no, yeah. I mean, maybe in those DBW conditions up north in England on a cold summer day, maybe sure. But in
Wearing
Indian
a
conditions,
second jacket.
yeah, something there, maybe a Durham or a Headingley kind of a condition, yeah. But if it's in Chennai or places like that, there's no chance, man, unless the ball color changes to white, and the so right now Shivam Dube, long way to go. As you rightly pointed out, the feet movement isn't there at times, and edging to the slip cordon, that kind of shows your technique deficiencies, and will be get exposed pretty much at the international level. I think still he needs to work on his game, technique, and bit more tighter. I think he has the shots. It's just that survival at initial phases is a question mark for him. But there are lots of
Absolutely.
other guys who are ahead of him right now.
Absolutely. There are a lot of players. We will talk slowly and steadily about that. But talking about the unavailabilities for both the sides, but we start with Team A. No Kuldeep Yadav, no Akash Deep. I think he has just surpassed a little bit about his Bengal teammate. Mukesh Kumar is not a part of the test squad. Akash Deep is now there. So now the bowling attack of Team A doesn't look that threatening. But the replacements here are Shams Mulani and Akib Khan. Do you think there are good enough replacements?
Shams Malani, yeah, I think we've seen him for Mumbai. What do you call a decent left arm spinner, give you your workhorse kind of
Yeah,
guy at one end. And not to forget, he can bat pretty well low down the order and chip in with a few useful runs. But definitely, what I feel someone like Mulani can do is the pitch at Anandpur is a bit drier. So he will get that little extra purchase. We saw in that
Correct.
game when Akshar and all these guys were getting good
Correct.
spin. Even the rough is there to work with. So I
Manav
think
Sudar.
Manav Sutar was excellent, man. I mean,
Absolutely.
I think he has kind of out people like a Saurav Kumar or anyone in case a Jaddu or Akshar isn't there. I think the next
Even
left arm
somebody
spin.
we were discussing before, a Tanush Kotian as well.
Tanush Kotian, I think, still a work in progress. He looked decent, but I think he needs to bit more consistency. Needs to be a bit more better there, and
Yeah.
the lines that he's operating were a bit still a question mark to.
And
I
the
think
inexperience showed as well for a few a
true,
little bit
true,
of
true,
time
true.
as
I think it's his first game in this kind of a limelight in a Duleep Trophy. I think playing maybe this complete tournament, 3 games, I think that will make him a much more better bowler. I feel in the coming days. I think Akib
well.
Khan you mentioned. I think from UP, he did
Yeah.
decently in this recent what is that UP
Under
T20
19
also
as well,
under
UPT 20
19s.
as well. Yeah.
A good impressive seam up front, but still needs to
Another work in progress.
work in progress, but needs to slightly fill up a bit. I can say for a fast bowler, we need those
Absolutely.
kind of workhorses. But as you said, someone like Akash Deep, I think I was mighty impressed, man. Yeah, maybe the team lost, but he ran and picked up 9 wickets on that deck. To give this team a semblance of chance, not to mention the lower order batting as well. I think that was a treat to watch for all of us. But uh, ahead of Mukesh, yeah, definitely. I think um, playing in those Indian domestic circuit, I think it's toughened him up. Just like
Yeah.
Mukesh, also I feel. So given the right conditions, especially in India, I think Akash Deep is slightly better. Mukesh, when there is a bit of
And
nip around, I
Akashdeep
think
has that extra height and also hits the hard length. That will give you a little bit of more purchase, is what I feel.
also is very similar to Shammi. I think we
Yeah.
saw
True
picks
that.
the seam more often, moves the ball just enough to get those edges or
He's learned
beat
it
the
from the
bat. I
best.
think yeah. So I think someone like Mukesh is more like your like we saw in Cape Town. He did hit the right patches
Bowl it
and
in that channel
channel,
constantly.
yeah. So I think we need to have this horses for courses kind of a mentality. Just because XYZ did well in a particular ground or a condition, he shouldn't be put up in a completely alien condition which may expose his weaknesses.
Correct.
Because we don't have players who are like all format all condition players. They're just one or two in any squad in general. So when you get these people at the right time in the right condition, they can be a match winners. Maybe not a long duration kind of a players
Yeah.
for the entire series or the tour, but just for those one test or two test matches where these people can be your match winners or wicket takers or
True that.
game breakers as like to call it. I think these guys needs to be given that little extra push because they have the skill set. It's just that sometimes the confidence level and the backing is also that makes the player, as we know. So I think Akash Deep is good enough, Mukesh, I think a lot of these guys are talented enough because we need to have that supply chain once a Shami goes on, or if a Bumrah is rested or injured, because Siraj is there as well. Because we still don't
Correct.
know his fitness because he's having
Yeah.
that illness. We saw Siraj. So this 5 test matches at home, I think all these guys can be rotated well. Even Ash Dayal, maybe perhaps
Absolutely.
one odd game.
There could be a lot of rotations because we have Gautam Gambhir there, so he loves to rotate a few side.
Yeah.
But do you think when you said about a lot of players there, I think Kuldeep Yadav will be the luckiest and the happiest so far because he's now playing with Rishabh Pant, not Rishabh Pant behind the stumps when he's batting.
Yeah, we got some good banter there, right? So I think also someone like Kuldeep, I feel over the years, Pritham, uh, Indian players play him better, the domestic cricket players. I mean, we saw him early on in his career in the IPL. He was not as effective. They benched him at KKR. Only when the Champions League came in, he was at his full skills. Where we saw the
Yeah.
repertoire grow and the foreign players just not picked him. I think that's what someone like Kuldeep. You can't judge him on a domestic games performance. I feel suddenly overseas teams come in here. I think they'll be all
Correct.
at sea, just like what we saw against England. As soon as Kuldeep came on, all your Baz ball was thrown out of the window because they couldn't just pick what was coming out of the
Absolutely.
hand. So I think again, as I said, playing them at the right time in the right condition and the right opposition, I think that's what helps the
And the
player.
right
So
surface.
right surface. I mean, for wrist spinner, maybe the surface may not be as uh, relevant, I feel, but definitely for a finger spinner like a Akshar or Manav Sutar, as we saw, Jaddu, I think is we know what's gonna come from him. Ash is a legend in his own. He knows how to operate at any time. So we are blessed to have these guys, but for this current crop that's coming up, if they can be an understudy to these experienced players, I think that's when their I mean, the lessons they can learn and get much better. So I think all these things will be watched out for, I think, during this home stretch.
True that, but we spoke about Team D as well on the other hand, and I think the bulk of the duties were done by somebody like an Akshar Patel. I think he was tremendous in the first game with the bat, with the ball as well. Now not part of the squad. Tushar Deshpande as well is not part due to a niggle though. And we have on the other end the replacement. Nishant Sindhu has been announced as the replacement of Akshar Patel from Haryana. And then you're with Vad Kabarappa as we expected him to play the game one. Couldn't, unfortunately. So, what are your take? First of all, Akshar Patel's replacement, Nishant Sandhu. Do you think like to like one or somebody that can make a similar kind of an impact in the dry surface at Anantapur?
Maybe with the ball, yeah, but Akshar with the bat for the last couple of seasons has been a complete wonderful player, man. Low order runs, especially in a low scoring game in India,
Yeah,
I think have been vital and match winning stuff. So I think Akshar has developed this game very well. We saw him in the red ball against England as well, but even the T20 World Cup, we saw how well he was used as a floater. I think that confidence has taken over him, and we are seeing a better of Akshar with the bat in this
yeah,
coming season. Definitely, I think Nishant Sandhu, I think still a long way to go with the bat, but you can say just the left arm variety is there, but still needs to improve a lot in terms of his consistency and the pace at which Akshar bowls or the angles that he uses are completely different. Shan Sandhu is slightly more uh, upright, you can say, in his bowling actions. So I think
yeah,
a different impact will be there, but definitely someone like Tushar Deshpande, I think he was trying to make a name for himself. It reminds me a bit similar like a Shardul Thakur,
yeah.
low order runs, similar build, hit the deck kind of a guy. Both played for CSK as well, so I think kind of similarity there. But uh, big miss I feel, because he could have pushed his claim also coming for the tour down under, and maybe some T20 series that will be there in between as well. So I think he could have staked a claim there. But Team D, I think. Stronger, because I feel Shreyas Iyer led them pretty well. I felt he was
And that's where I
proactive
come
there.
to you as well. Are you shocked that Shreyas Iyer is not part of the Indian side?
In place of whom would you pick him, Pritham? Because it's always the easy thing, like why not X or Y, but who in place of
There you
whom?
go. But that's where India have selected. So you're saying there's an improvement now, not going with big names, because they could have easily done is that remove Dhruv Jodel and make KL Rahul the second wicket keeper batsman and slot in Shreyas Iyer. I'm saying that's what has happened before as well, taking big names. But now is it you're saying that they have gone with the sensible choices, and even somebody they have backed Sarfaraz Khan ahead of somebody like a Shreyas Iyer. So that's something that speaks volumes.
It's good in the sense that it's like something for Shreyas to work on, because we saw the short ball thing again being worked over. We saw him in the Buchi Babu get out in a similar fashion. I think if you're repeating mistakes, I think there's something wrong with you. I think the kind of talent that he has, I think he can be a much better player, Shreyas, because uh, compared to the younger lot, I think he's one of the finer captains, I feel, in terms of his
Correct.
uh, brains and thinking. We saw how well he led KKR to the victory this IPL. So I think it's just that his batting, forget the white ball skills, I think it's pretty good there. But the red ball is completely different. You can't be always be ready saying, I'll take on the hook shot or the pull
Correct.
shot. There'll be three fielders out there, and you may look pretty ordinary at times, because the match situation and your team situation dictate what you don't do also as well, not just to say all this bravado to take it like I'll hit a 6 or anything. You can tire the bowler in a different way, and wait for them to pitch it up and play in your area. That's what Test match cricket is, right? I think the best example for him would be someone like a Rahane or even a Pujara. I know Pujara is one
Yeah.
of a kind, but how he used to take the ball on his
One of
body and then tire the bowler
correct.
out and then score those boundaries. I think certain things you need to evolve as a player. You can't be one dimensional in this day and age. Opposition will sort you out easily. So I think
Absolutely.
it's high time that Shreyas gets his act together, I feel.
Absolutely. Let's not talk about getting hit on the body. We saw it in the Australian tour last time around. But yes, we'll talk about the players to watch out for pretty quickly now, Rohan. Team A, I think onus goes back to Mayank Agarwal, the captain, not being amongst the runs in the first game. But now it's time for him to show, because now he's the captain as well. Riyan Parag showed promising styles as well, has got the attitude, but at the end of the day, you need runs as well from the other end. And who's the third one? A little bit go to somebody like a Khalil Ahmed. Impressed me a little bit in the first game. But is there anybody you're going forward to? Three players I've said from my end.
For me, definitely Rian Parag, because he looked $1 million the way he was batting there. But
Correct.
again, a good ball or wonderful one from Yash Dayal to get that kind of angle in and
Which is
shape
also
away. I
set
think
up the future RCB versus RR battle as well.
and who knows who will be in which team, yeah. So keep that thing aside. But for me, someone like Pratham Singh, I was very happy when I saw this guy's name because he's played a lot for Railways, played on tough pitches and scored. Yeah, maybe Railways isn't a big team, but he's someone who has given them a semblance of chance to be within that
Yeah,
game, scoring those 50s, 80s, 90s, and odd 100. I mean, he can grind it out, bat for long periods, also hit the big hit. So he has that game. So good to see a guy get a due from his domestic performance. Pratham Singh is someone, and definitely a Sheikh Rashid. We saw
yeah,
him in the under 19 World Cup, a classical mold player. I think did well in the recent Andhra T20 or whatever that was. He played well and showed that he can up his game also in the power plays and all. But very highly talented player. I think he was in the CSK setup recently, but didn't quite get a game. But I feel definitely he's one for the future as well in the top order.
could be.
Classical mold player, someone which we don't see in this day and age. Lots of them are stroke players, but this guy knows how to wear the new ball out and then play strokes. So Sheikh Rashid, in case he plays, someone to watch out for. Uh, but another guy was not. I mean, was surprised that he didn't get a game. Was Tilak Verma. I
Yeah,
know he's
even
from
I was though. But now there is a
Mm,
door open now with the players, international players
yes,
going off. I think now the door has opened for him to get an opportunity. Similarly, you have said your three players. For Team
yeah.
D, I think Shreyas Iyer, he has to prove. Because I think now not being part of the international team, earlier not getting the contract as well, things are not looking good for him when it comes to international circuit. So I think he needs to prove a little bit. Similarly, a competition arises for Arshdeep Singh, according to me, just because yes, Dayal has just got a step ahead of him. So he's one more and a little bit of Sanju Samson maybe behind the stumps for the third one to watch out for.
I love to see Sanju do well in a red ball cricket, man, because that guy is such a talent. I feel sometimes he's get wasted at times, or he's his own enemy, throwing some needless shots and stuff like that. Another guy was very impressed, Harshit Rana. We
Yeah,
have seen him in KKR setup, but after a long time, I think playing red ball cricket and doing well. I think that showed again the guy's temperament and heart to do well. Yeah, you can see the kisses being blown after he got,
no fine
I
now,
think.
no fine.
No fines here. So I think he's another guy. Devdutt Padikkal again, such a talented guy, doesn't make use of his opportunities well. I felt he looked pretty good in the second innings. I think he was batting well.
Yeah,
What a good one you can say. But Arshdeep, as you rightly said, I think he needs to get that little extra push because Dayal is slightly higher up in the pecking order right now.
correct.
Arshdeep, definitely the white ball is a much better bowler, but to come into
Absolutely
red ball cricket, I think that will make him a much fitter and a long term horse for India, definitely, because
true
he's
that.
much more younger. So I think that will give him my edge. But I think this is a good kick up the backside for him that someone like
Yeah,
Eshtayal has overtaken him, I feel. So
absolutely. If
Ashdeep,
that gives him the move, then that will be really good because we have seen his skills in the
yeah,
white ball. It's time to prove his worth in the red ball. Before we move on to the last segment, which is the predicted playing 11 one, weather update is good. No rain. It's partly cloudy, I must tell you. But as we see, Anantapur is a dry surface. So if you're given the captain's hat, are you batting first without a doubt?
definitely, man. What we saw, it was getting tougher and tougher later on. So whatever runs you can when the pitch is at its best, I think put it up there because all these guys are talented batters. I mean, someone like Ricky Bui was looking good for them
Yeah,
the other day as well. But again, workhorse in the domestic setup, always done well, been there close. I think even in the IPL, he has done
yeah.
everything, wicket keeping, and he's like again kind of a guy who can
The
fit in somewhere
all-rounder
anywhere,
does
all round kind
everything
of, yeah,
exactly.
and
A
goes
little
under
bit
the
of Baba
carpet.
Indrajit type of a thing who does everything, whatever it takes as well, I think. But yes, there you go. That's your reaction, to be
Yeah.
honest. But if we go to the predicted playing 11 now, with the international players moving out now for international duties, for Team A, I think we'll go with Mayank Agarwal and Pratham Singh as the openers, according to me,
Yeah.
for Team A. Then going to Riyan Parag, Tilak Verma gets a game. SK
Mm.
Rashid, Kumar Kushagra as my wicket-keeper batter out there because of the necessities that needs to be taken. I'm still backing Shivam Dubey. I want him to bowl more as well. Then you have Tanush Kotian, Khalil Ahmed, Avesh Khan, and Akib Khan because they are short of paces. So here are my predicted playing 11. What's your take?
I think three pacers will be a luxury on that pitch. I feel. I think they will go for one more spinner, Shams Mulani
Okay.
or Akshay Wadkar. Both are good all rounders. One is left arm and one is offie. So I think either of them can do a decent job for them. I feel so. A third spinner may get a slightly push,
Maybe a
being an
Shams Mulani with the experience as well.
possible depending maybe rotate themselves for the next game as well. So I may prefer someone like Shams Mulani, proven record too, but Akshay Wadkar is decent too, because I think with Darba last 3-4 years he has been very consistent for them.
Okay, so you have their competitions as well. So tough choices needs to be made by the head coaches. But going to the other end, as Atharva Taide for Team D, Yas Dubey as well are my openers out there. Devdut Padigal, Shreya Shayer at number 4, Ricky Bui, Sanju Samson I have out here instead of KS Bharat who did not perform well in the game one. So then you have Saransh Jain, Saurav Kumar, or are you going with Nishant Sandhu? I want to hear from your end as well. And then the three pacers once again. Are you going with Arshdeep Singh, Harshit Rana, and Vidwat Kavirappa? Are you once again going with both Saurav Kumar and Nishant Sindhu to had more spin?
I think I'll go for Saurabh Kumar again. Proven guy in domestic setup. Has been in the India A setup as well. I think had a decent tour of South Africa last season with the ball and can be a very handy bat as well. Uh, Much more experience. So I think they would like to have someone like Saurabh Kumar because, as you said, pitch is pretty dry there, and you want players,
Exactly.
bowlers who can keep bowling at that same spot a lot more, and even every run will be important. So I think they may like to go for the experienced guy than Nishant Sindhu. So I feel Saurabh Kumar should be getting a go ahead.
Okay, Saurav Kumar's experience and the playing 11 looks set as well. So this is done and dusted when it comes to Team A versus Team D as well, Rohan. Points table, as we said before, both teams need to get points on the board. Haven't opened their account. Which team are you backing? Is it Shreya Shayer's Team D or is it Mayank Agarwal's Team A?
I feel team A slightly, I think, because decent enough experience is there, and I think they look hungry. Shreyas Iyer team, I think they have the good leadership there, but in terms of the quality, I think slightly ahead to the A team because Mike has that little edge
Yeah,
coming in. I think with the know-how as well, but only advantage the D team has is they have played in Anandpur the first game, and A team are
exactly.
coming from Bangalore, so I think that gives the Shreyas
Slight
Iyer led team
advantage.
slight advantage. But as we know, on the day, on the paper, we just saw what
Absolutely.
happened last round. So I think the toss may be a vital factor. If you bat first, may give you another kind of an edge. So I'll keep those things aside. But for me, the performance of the players is more important than the results of who is doing well or not. So irrespective who wins or not, it's secondary, man. But I want all these guys to be in that frame for the selection, not just for this home season, but the Australian tour down. And I think all that are significant as well.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Rohan. It was a tricky question, ladies and gentlemen. I asked him, but this man always ends up saying the best for Indian cricket as well. Thank you so much, Rohan. Thank you to all the viewers. This team is done and dusted. This match is done and dusted. Team A versus Team D is done. Both teams need to get points on the board, but it's time we shift towards the two teams that have won the first game. It's B versus C. Let's move on to that game. Now it's time for the two teams that have won their first game. B versus C, 1-1 at the Chinnaswamy Stadium, while the other one at Anandapur. It's a new venue for both the teams. We're now shifting to the third venue that is being hosted by the Duleep Trophy 2024. That is the ADCA Stadium at Anantapur. I have Deepu with me. Deepu, welcome to the show. Now we are focusing on the two teams that have got 6 points straight away, winning, getting a lead as well. So, what's your take on this one? Team B versus Team C. Now it's going to be the players that are missing out. We focus on the squads first. And what's your take? Because if you look into Team B, led by Abhimanyu Ishwaran, but I think more or less it was led by Rishabh Pant behind the stumps.
Well, anyway, in any team where Rishabh is there, you will hear the chit chatters and what he did with Kuldeep Yadav, it went viral on social media. So, yeah, he is that chirpy guy, and yes, the team needs someone like him being around the stumps and obviously guiding the bowlers as well. So, yeah, it was an exciting. I saw the match, but in clips. So, yeah, it was very enjoyable to watch.
Absolutely, it was very enjoyable. But as I asked Rohan the same as well, I think Kuldeep Yadav will be the happiest man because he will have Rishabh Pant in his own team now. Because the way Rishabh Pant did from behind the stumps, we all got the memes now from the stump mic about Kuldeep Yadav. I think it was just entertaining to hear. But yes, Rishabh Pant is one of the players from Team B that is not part of the squad because of the international duties. Yashasvi Jaiswal is also not part of the squad just because of international duties. and a surprise maiden international call up for Yash Dayal. He's also not part of the squad for Team B. Now he's part of Indian side. Did it surprise you this pick? Because you had options like Arshdeep, Khalil, but you go with somewhat. What a turnaround of a season this has been for us there. All the way, if you go back to white ball cricket, Rinku Singh at the Narendra Modi Stadium, 5 sixes. From there to with getting a dry ball and getting rid of Mahendra Singh Dhoni at Chinnaswamy. Now performing so well at the Duleep Trophy round one to getting an Indian test call up. What an achievement, I must tell you.
Yeah, see, I mean, for every 2023, you have a 24, similar to what Indian team had. Uh, we have no discussions about it, but we know what happened for us in this year
Yep.
comparing to the last. So, yeah, it's a fairy tale story. And again, as they say, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. So, he's reaping rewards for him. I actually got surprised when he was picked in the squad because
Mhm.
this was a selection that I was not sensing, neither none of us was sensing this selection. Maybe
Exactly.
a new batter could have been there, or a spinner could have come in, just as a backup or something. Since Jadeja is injury prone, or Akshar maybe given a rest since he's been constantly playing
Yep.
cricket for India. So yeah, I think this is a bold call, and I think it's a refreshing call as well, given that we need lefty pacers in the.
Exactly, I was about to say because we do not have any services since the last time Zaire Khan left the team. No left arm red ball seamers. We are finding it since a long, long time. I remember I was watching a little bit of highlights a few weeks ago. But in the Sran was there a few games, and then all of a sudden he went in vain from where if you remember. But
Yeah.
now for India B, as we said before, three players are going off, and their replacements are as follows for Team B, and that is Rinku Singh is now from India B. Finally, he has a squad to play with. Himanshu Mantri, and if you note a little bit, surprise, Sarfaraz Khan. He's still part of the squad for India for the first test, but he has been informed to play for India B in the second test. So does that make it sure that KL Rahul will be in the playing 11?
Uh, See again, the selection committee and the new head coach. We don't know what they are actually thinking, but if the message is clear, I think KL might be the guy who's playing because when you see the gap as well, the gap is not much there. The first test starts from 19th, and I think this
Yeah,
one is starting from I think in 2 or 3 days
12th. Yep,
from 12th, and it's a 4 day game, I believe. So yeah, 16th it might end. Beg your pardon, 15th it might end. So whether whether Sarfaraz will be given an adequate rest or not, that's to be seen. But I feel the message can be clear, or maybe just they are asking him to play another game and get some more red ball practice.
could be.
Yep.
But
So
on the other hand, for when it comes to India, India B, we spoke about India C, surprisingly unchanged squad. This team had the least number of international players, unchanged squad. But when the Indian team, the actual Indian team for the first test was announced, a little bit of fans were saying about Ruturaj Gaikwad not being selected. Are they really Indian fans or a little bit of CSK fans who got into between?
Uh, this is something controversial, but I'll put it up in short. I think Ruturaj, he didn't perform really well in the game as well. I think maybe one solid inning, but still, not enough to cement his place. And he has not done well enough to, actually be in the ODI or the T20 setup as well because Jaiswal has been doing well. Rohit now has
Yeah.
retired, so yes, one spot is there, but still Shubman Gill is there in that spot. Even though I
But
would
that
love
at the moment, I do not see there is a spot for Ruturaj Gaikwad to cement apart from the shortest format of the game. When compared to red ball cricket, until and unless the likes of Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, they retired, I do not think so. There is any spot or any vacancy, to be honest, for the likes of Ruturaj Gaikwad, Devdutt Padikkal to get a chance. Because next on the line, as the years progresses, we will have somebody like a Mushir Khan, as we spoke before, getting opportunity very very soon. But that is where you see a little bit of that. But when we talk about India B, Deepu, Abhimanyu Ishwaran was the captain. We said about Rishabh Pant being there behind the stumps, leading the team. N number of meme materials he has given as well. But the original captain, stand-in captain, was Abhimanyu Ishwaran. He did not impress me with his body language.
Abhimanyu Ishwaran is another guy, who has been around the selectors' radar. What we have been hearing since past 5 years that, he is here and there in the squad. Even Priyank Panchal is another guy who has been close to the Indian team. Maybe he has also been, I think, a part of the squad as well, but hasn't got the opportunity to step onto the
Correct.
field. So I think these are two guys who are can be considered as unlucky, given the fact that we are in our prime. We were in our prime back then, and we are in our prime even now with new faces coming up.
Yeah.
So guys like Rutu, Iswaran, and Priyank Panchal, they'll have to really struggle for their places. Even though I feel there is a spot for Rutu in the middle order.
Okay.
Currently, I feel, yeah. I think if KL Rahul, the talent that he possesses, we all know that, but he hasn't been able to showcase it on the big level. So I think,
Could be.
uh, yeah, so Rutu can be an option. Being in the middle order, he has that experience, I feel. So I think can be tried as an option.
Okay, fair enough. So that is something which we will talk as the show progresses. But overall, this is the side. Team B, Team C is out here, but both the teams have been successful, as we said. Points table shows like both the teams got a first innings lead. Both the teams won their games as well. 6 points to the points table. Now it's the two successful sides. India A will be missing a lot of services of the international players, as we said before. Weather update, pitch report, Deepu. This is another new stadium, but same weather update. Partly cloudy, no chances of rain, and expected a dry surface. So if you're given the captain's hat, what are you going to do?
Oh, well, I'll definitely pick up my bat. The reason being, playing in India, I think it's better, always better, irrespective of the conditions, it's better to bat first. Obvious reasons that from the second or the third day, the pitch will start to turn and will get tougher.
Correct.
And it's always a tense chase whether you are, playing in the when you are playing in the fourth innings, whether it's a 100-run target or even a 90-run target can be tense. So I feel it's better that bat first, get a decent score of around 250 to 300 in quick time, and then
That's
bowl out
that's
the
where
ball.
it will give you an advantage, because if you go cement around somewhere around 200, 250, there is a chance of trailing in the first innings. So because there is points for a first innings lead as well, so that's where I think that you need to bat well. If you're winning the toss, selecting to bat for the first innings with the bat is very crucial for both the sides. Despite winning the first game, I think a little bit of edge, I'll go with Team India B, sorry. But we'll discuss now the players to watch out for, Deepu. And if we start with India B, and this here it is, no services of Rishabh Pant. But if you talk about, I think Mushir Khan is player number one without a doubt. Somebody I'm looking forward to very closely. Nitish Kumar Reddy, bits and pieces. I think he impressed me in the first game with the ball, with the bat as well. Expect him to do well. Navdeep Saini, what a talent he has been. Brilliantly bowled, disciplined line and length. Mukesh Kumar, you had Sai Kishore, did not get much bowling opportunities just because of the surface Bangalore created. He might get a lot of turn at Anantapur. So my three players, a little bit of here and there, but I'll still stick with somebody like a Mushir Khan. Then I'll go with somebody Sai Kishore because I expect him to do well at Anantapur. And the third will be Navdeep Saini.
I feel Navdeep has been really good, scoring a 50 as well, crucial lower
Yeah.
down the other order, and something which we need as a batting team, given that what Shardul has been doing for us previously as well. So I think
Hmm.
with him not being in the radar as of now, until unless they decide something else for BGT, I think Navdeep can be a really great option. And also the fact that Navdeep has got the backing of Gautam Gambhir, that he has promised him that he'll revive his career, as what we have been hearing according to
Yeah.
reports. So I think that's a great news with pacers who can bat, which we need. So yeah, Navdeep will be there. Mushir, I believe, yes, is a great option because we need batters who can bowl, and Mushir offers left arm spin. So I think
Hmm.
that is also covered. So yeah,
Correct.
these two will be there. And Nitish Kumar, I think I didn't saw much of him in the Duleep Trophy, but still, I think with bowling all rounders that we need in the middle order, with
Correct.
Hardik Pandya not there now, and proper batters, or batters who can bowlers who can bat. So I
Bull.
think
Yeah.
with him being there, I think we can get that extra option as well. So I think I'll stick with the same three guys.
Stick with the same three. Fair enough. So India B and their players to watch out for are done and dusted. If you go to the opponents, which is India C, led by Ruturaj Gaikwad, I think captain himself is one of the players to watch out for without a doubt. I'm pretty much excited to see how Rajat Patidar does, because he was part of the Indian squad for the England series. He's one of them who is not part of the squad now. No doubt about that. Virat Kohli is back, but still. So I think Rajat Patidar, Ruturaj Gaikwad are the two players to watch out for. And third one, I will be going with somebody like a Vijay Kumar Vijay.
Uh, I think Rutu, I'm not really looking forward to him in the upcoming game. Yes, Patidar is definitely on my list, given the fact that I think he's not in the squad, I believe, in the Test series. So yeah, he needs to. He is another guy who has got that opportunity to pick up
Correct.
Shreya's spot. And in the upcoming days, we have New Zealand coming up, and then we have
Yeah.
your all important series, and with bouncy conditions in Australia. I think guys like Patidar can be a really great opportunity, and to replace
Okay.
someone like a Pujara as well. I think that it takes a lot of caliber. So yes, he's definitely in my hit list. Another one, I think I'll rather pick Abhishek Porel,
Okay.
another fascinating guy. What he did for DC earlier this year, just made me awe of him. So yeah, he's definitely in my list being there. And I think yeah, Vaishak, what he did for RCB, I think last year, I believe he didn't got much games this year. So yeah, he'll be there. So apart from I'll leave out Rutu, but I'm more excited to watch Abhishek Porel in the middle order.
Abhishek Porel. Okay, so you have given your three players to watch out for. You have added the Bengal wicketkeeper Abhishek Porel. No doubt he had a fantastic season with the Delhi Capitals, batting as an opener as well. We saw alongside Jake Fraser Magak. So fair enough. Now moving on to the final segment, that is the predicted playing 11, starting with India B, I guess, because of the players that are not available due to international duties. I think Abhimanyu Ishwaran as the captain opens the innings alongside N Jagadishan because no Rishabh Pant now. You need an opener because no Yashasvi Jaiswal. N Jagadishan as my opener. Mushir Khan, Sarfaraz Khan, the two Khan brothers at number 3 and 4. Nitish Kumar Reddy, Rinku Singh at number 6. Shreyas Prabhudesai at number 7. Then you go with the two bowling all-rounders, spin bowling all-rounders, Washington Sundar and R. Sai Kishore. And then you have Navdeep Saini and Mukesh Kumar. I think it's said 11.
Yeah, I think if the conditions are to be dry, definitely it will spin. So maybe can be an option of adding another spinner, but still, if Mushir is there, I think
Mushir
there
is there, yeah.
won't be any changes. And I think both the teams are coming off wins, so I don't see any changes coming up. Maybe a slightly top order position for Rinku, I believe, because
Okay,
he's someone who hasn't had a great year with KKR. I think he was underutilized due to
absolutely.
the top order exploits that were having in KKR. So, and obviously not getting the World Cup call as
Correct.
well, being in the reserve. So I think Rinku deserves something great
Okay.
in his career. So yeah, he'll be in mind. I think I'll pick him at number 5 instead of number
Okay,
6.
a little bit higher up the order for Rinku Singh, you're saying, and the rest of the playing 11 stays the same because you have three spinners, including Mushir Khan. When it comes to
Yeah.
India C now, here's my predicted playing 11. Ruturaj Gaikwad, Sai Sudarshan are my openers, Deepu. Then we go on to Rajat Patida, Surya Kumar Yadav, hopefully, fingers crossed, he's fit enough to get game time. Baba Indrajit is there. Abhishek Porel, as you mentioned, as the wicket-keeper batter. Then you have Ritik Shokin, Manav Sudar, he was terrific in the first game at Anantapur. Then you have Vijay Kumar. Then you have Sandeep Warrior, and then you have Anshul Kamboj. I think this is another good side.
Yeah, another great side with upcoming talent, budding talent coming up. So yeah, it's a great squad. Coming to the players now, I feel yeah, Sudarshan and Rutu, I think both are very sedate in their approach. To be honest, so I think I'll rather put someone aggressive to be there. I'll rather try and put Abhishek in the
Okay.
opening spot. To be honest, because I think with these 4-day games, I think we need aggression as well with with Test cricket also changing due to bad ball approach all over going up, and with Indian team also applying the same in earlier this year. So I think Sai Sudarshan can hold that middle order and something which the team require, which Indian team also requires in future. And Sudarshan is a great caliber as well. We have
So you're
seen
saying
that in
Sai Sudha number three
yeah. Yep, Sudarshan at number 3. Abhishek
and
can
Abhishek
open with
opening.
Rotu. So I think it's better that it's also important because him being a keeper, he can get that idea as well while his team is bowling as well. So I think this can also help in that tactic. So these will be my top 3. Sky, I'm not really sure of. In red ball cricket, I think he should be rather considered as T20 specialist only. ODIs I
Okay.
don't want to discuss, but still I think it's better that he keeps away himself from the red ball game and just
Okay.
focus on short test format. So
But
yeah,
he said his dream is to play for Team India, so that's something a little bit of challenging from him. And if you can sum up the rest of the playing 11, please.
rest of the playing 11, I think I'll keep it same. Not I'm not able to find a great batter. I haven't been able to follow much. So yeah, I think rest of the batting will remain same. Baba Indrajit is something another guy who comes in my unlucky list that what he did in the under
Correct.
19 World Cup along with his brother.
And has also every year has been terrific at the TNPL. So a little bit unlucky towards that as well. But are you agreeing with the bowling order, the bowling department for Team C? Because it's a very thin squad, but unfortunately, it's the players that pick themselves.
Yeah, when you have limited resources, you don't have any options to actually, to complain about what we had in Gaba in
Yeah,
in the previous tour. I think we also were short of players as well.
correct.
But from that they can take that inspiration as well, and it's a Duleep Trophy game, so it's just another game. Just treat it like one. And I think guys like Anshul Kamboj, what he did for Mumbai this year, earlier this year with bat as well, and along with the ball. So I think that's another opportunity for another young budding all rounder who can challenge spots in the Indian side. So I think this is a thin squad, but not a weak one. This is a great squad.
Absolutely, it's not a weak squad at all. Both the sides look squad strong, and that's the reason why they have taken 6 points. And the players that have gone for international duties, now the opportunity arises for the players that were in the bench in the first round. Now they will get game time. So good luck to all of them. Now the final question: Team B versus Team C. Both the teams got 6 points. Deepu, which team do you think has the advantage to get the 6 points again?
I feel we have a better chance given that they have the bowling, and in these type
Okay,
of conditions, it's the bowling which will win you games.
okay,
Batters, an odd 100 can come up. So yeah, guys like Mushir are there who scored of about great 180 in the previous game, match 7 innings, 94 for 7 and 2. Actually, I think
absolutely.
they finished close to 300, I believe. So I think from that case, I think from that point of view, we are favorites, but you never know in Test cricket.
Okay, so fair enough. So you're going with India B as the favorites for this clash in the second one. Thank you so much, Deepu. Thank you to all the viewers for watching this one. Thank you to Rohan as well, who was part of the India A versus India D earlier discussion as well. Sit back and enjoy round number two now, ladies and gentlemen. Duleep Trophy 2024, followed by we will come shortly with India versus Bangladesh first test match all the way from Chennai. Don't forget to subscribe to Fifth Umpire. Press the bell icon as well. Thank you so much, and bye bye.